Are you sure I cannot talk you out of taking this trip?
I'm quite sure. I must get as far away as possible.
I don't think you should go. You have no insurance at all. And I'm quite sure you have kindled the Lord's anger with this new doctrine you are embracing. To say one is not required to tithe, to not be obedient to God in tithing is just plain foolishness. Considering the curse God places upon those who do not tithe, it is dangerous to ignore God's command to tithe.
How can one be obedient to God in tithing when one is not even tithing, which God said his holy tithe is to consist of? How can one be obedient to God in tithing when one is not even tithing where God said his holy tithe is to be taken? How can one be obedient to God in tithing when one is not even giving the tithe to whom God said his holy tithe was to be given? How can one be obedient to God in tithing when one is not emulating the tithing practices of a single biblical character? Tell me, obedient tither, just who are you obedient to when God's word reveals a different required tithe than the tithe you are giving? God said his tithe is to be agricultural, yet you say to tithe money. God said his tithe is to be observed in the Promised Land, yet you say to tithe in the United States. God said to give the tithe to the sons of Levi, widows, orphans and foreigners in the Promised Land, yet you say to give the tithe to Gentile pastors. Why do you tell me to be obedient to God in the tithes when you are not obedient to God in the tithe yourself? You point an accusing finger at me, yet you have 3 of your own fingers pointing back at yourself. Keep your doctrine. I was never required to tithe money. Nobody was.